Hello, and welcome to the Dahlia World Gardens presentation of Seattle at Dawn, and Mage the Ascension Chronicle. I am our storyteller, Tim Dahlia. Thank you for joining us. And if you like our show and you do want more, you can catch all of our magical shenanigans on our YouTube playlist. And while you're here, please like and subscribe to this channel and this video and all those other things. I don't know all the terms. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and I still don't know. But today we are going to bring a special solo session as part of our prologue to Book 8 of Seattle at Dawn. And today we will be further exploring the life of Inea Blackwell, played by our friend Cindy. Hello, Cindy.
Hello.
Oh. I brought up all the people, just you. Just put your window up. So,
Just me.
no, those other three people aren't going to be here. Hi, Cindy. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the masses.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I use she, her pronouns, and I play Inea Nay Blackwell, who is a techno shaman of the Kha'vadi, and she's ready for a little downtime. She is leaking from places she shouldn't be leaking from, and well, that sounded better in my head. But anyway, it's her hands. Her hands are bleeding.
Her hands are bleeding. Yes, that's what you meant. Okay.
That is definitely what I meant. And she is ready to sleep peacefully and do some meditation and do some self-reflection and just get a breath, because it's been one thing after another for, like, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, something like that.
Yeah. So, getting into that, the end of 2021 has been a trial for Nay. In these last 3 months of the calendar year, Nay has been pivotal.
Yes.
Something. She's been pivotal to the protection of Seattle and their population. She has formed bonds of friendship with two unlikely mages, and together, Inea has saved countless numbers of people from the threats of bigotry, jealousy, zealotry, and bureaucracy. And through it all, Nay has shouldered unseen burdens she seldom acknowledges. Someone once said, "Fake it till you make it." Whoever said that didn't provide a comprehensive guide, nor are we likely to make one ourselves. The exact moment one can stop faking it is so obscured, most never feel able to stop, even when surrounded by the benefits of having made it. And this is where Inea Blackwell finds herself. She is surrounded by friends and has a secret place. She has power and has wielded it wisely. So why does she feel like she hasn't earned it? Why do her hands still bleed? And perhaps, as we've seen before, the tarot can help us answer those questions.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a good expression, Nay. I don't know what's happening right now, and I'm suspicious that it's probably going to be bad. That's very Nay. Nay has a problem with looking on the negative side of things.
Some days it seems like that. We've done the tarot before, and it's been a fairly accurate guide to how things have progressed. So at this point, Cindy, it is time for us to peer into the fate of Inea Blackwell. And when you're ready, Flip the card furthest to the left.
Okay, here we go. Okay, that's easier said than done. Let's see, how do I do that?
Right click.
Flip card, there it is. Oh, it's the Mage Reverse.
You're right. The Mage Reversed. This card has a strong association with the Mercurial Elite, having one of their most famous members pictured, that is Dante grasping the Wand of Prime. But it isn't just the Mercurial Elite represented. It is all of the Awakened and their struggle to project their will into reality, with their originality, their innovation, and their abilities. But reversed, as it has been dealt, represents indecision and weakness. Where has Inea shown indecision or weakness in the face of ascension?
Indecision or okay, well. Mm. So indecision, I'm assuming this is regarding like her magical journey.
In terms of ascension, yeah, like where does things fall for her?
So indecision, her relationship with Glitch, like it has like glommed onto her, and she is really not sure how she feels about that, or how to feel about that. So there's that. She's actually done her best to kind of just pretend like that doesn't exist. Right up until she has to touch on it again with the oh, I forgot what you called them, the little spiders, the electronic spiders.
Oh, pattern spiders, yeah.
Pattern spiders, thank you. She's been using them a lot, and she knows that that's Glitch's sphere, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Glitch has the sphere, anyway.
Right.
So they've been useful. She's thankful for that, but she really doesn't want to think it too hard about it. Weakness, I'm gonna say she is still failing to discern how best to accept and acknowledge the new connections that she has with other mages. The one solid connection that she ever had with another mage was with Maria, and that was a teacher-student situation. That was easy. Navigating this operating as equals thing and trying to work together as a group, that's a weakness for her. She doesn't know how to do that yet.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, that's where Inea has been. Let's see where Inea is now. Let's pull the next card, the present card.
Here we go. Ooh.
The Ace of Pattern. This card means prosperity, success, inheritance, often associated with the more mundane markers of success, wealth, and political power. For Inea, it's more of a sign of her recent success against Ned Calhoun, organizing her fledgling cabal, and generally sensing she is walking the path in the right direction. I think that adequately describes where we're at with her.
I think so. That sounds pretty spot on. She's got all this success, but she doesn't have any idea what to do with it. Of course, she hasn't had a chance to breathe yet either.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it doesn't seem to be in the efforts of ascension. They seem, creature comforts almost. Friends, home, able to live. Even if defeating Ned Calhoun has generally affected the well-being of people around. Was that more personal, or was that actually towards a larger goal? Who knows?
You could argument could be made for both
Agreed.
because um, he was a direct threat to her cabal
Mm-hmm.
and to her personally, if we narrow it down even further.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah. He
broader
he would,
perspective, go ahead.
given the opportunity, he would curb stomp all of you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, he tried.
Yeah.
He'd already tried. So that was a very personal, direct threat to her smaller circle and to herself personally. But broader spectrum, he was also involved with the owls, and they were a direct threat to the safety and well being of the larger population of Seattle,
Yeah.
particularly the homeless population, because they were the most vulnerable, easiest to start with.
Yes. Easy victims.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and pull the top future card.
Here we go. Ooh.
Yes. This is the Seven of Primordialism. Um, we've seen this card before, um, but now that it's been reshuffled to the deck, it seems to have popped up for you.
Mm.
The future holds temptations. This card shows a person overwhelmed by possibilities and unable to choose between them. Inea could succumb to indulging her fears or being selfish or chasing illusory goals. It's hard to nail down specifics when we're speaking of the future in such a broad sense.
But I can see it.
So here, let's pull the next card to the right. Um, yes. In this position, this card shows us a reason for the current state of affairs. Associated with technocracy, temperance means adaptation, self control, actualization, and balance. Traits that are not unique to the Union. In our tale, the balance of the Ascension truce seems more appropriate, as Inea herself struggles to maintain balance between the naturalistic world of her ancestors and the ever-changing present leading to a technological future.
Mm.
Any ideas as well when you look upon this card for yourself? Because that's what I see.
Well, hmm. I can also see that those are all qualities that got her from the inverted mage, the reversed mage, to the Ace of Pattern.
Yeah.
They're all things that she employed in order to get from the one to the other. Um, and likewise, I can see where it would apply to her future as things that she would be well advised to continue applying as she moves forward.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it definitely makes sense. And nay, I get why the technocracy is interested in recruiting her because nay seeks a balance. You're right. She's seeking a balance between spirits in the natural world and the spirits of the electronics that have
Mm-hmm.
more recently come into being. And she works with both. So she is kind of a bridge between. She seeks a balance in people dealing with each other, mage to sleeper, and just kind of in general. That's where she's trying to get to. And also in her activist life,
Mm-hmm.
she's looking for a balance between humanity and the natural world because
Mm-hmm.
we've only got one. So
Well, that's not technically true. I mean, you've been to other worlds, but
okay, planets. in this reality because she's including sleepers in this.
Very true. Naturalistic occurring humans don't
Right.
really show up elsewhere.
No, not
And if they
usually. At least
do, they're
something's gone
already there.
terribly wrong. Right.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely other worlds that are populated by people. They are the
Mhm.
descendants of people that have moved there or whatever, and their lives are vastly different than
Yes.
anything that you experience on mundane World of Darkness Earth.
Right.
All right. Well, let's pull out the potentials of the situation. This is the more specific things that can either occur or can be avoided going forward.
Okay. Here we go.
Potential in the situation.
Ooh. Ooh.
Another card that we've seen before, also more associated with Jezebel and the Sahajia. Um, this is the Four of Questing. What does it all mean? If the future holds temptations and illusions, can truth emerge? If the Four of Questing, or sorry, in the Four of Questing, we are presented with a celebration. The flames of ecstasy rise high into the air, companions to the song of celebration. Atop the arch of perfected work, the skeletons of old ideas merge their essence with the roses of purity and the common flowers of material sensation. The joining of animal and human natures in the paean to spiritual perfection crosses all boundaries of time and space, awakening the sleeping world to possibilities of change. Doesn't seem so bad.
It seems like that just means that the future is pretty open and it's going to be what she makes of it.
There are choices.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that
And possible.
actually that jibes pretty well with the seven of primordialism
Mm-hmm.
as far as it's all open. Anything could happen.
That is so. All right. Well, I think we've got a pretty good read here for the next arc going forward. I think these are all feeding into what is coming, and only I know what's coming. Well, I guess I and Vesper know. Uh,
Oh dear. Oh dear. Poor Vesper. Oh, Vesper.
he is.
Talk about the odd
There.
duck out in a whole flock of odd ducks.
I mean, not to get too off board there, but they are in a very interesting scenario. They don't come across as your normal or as anybody who would want to be a part of the New World Order. And that's unusual, it seems.
Nay was starting to wonder about that because they were remarkably okay with a lot of the shit that happened. They just kind of rolled with it.
I
And
mean,
and
they're
then
aware that there is magic, you know.
well, yeah, I mean, obviously, but what I mean by that is they didn't do a lot of jackbooted objecting to certain things, which,
I,
they were outnumbered, so maybe that just as well that they didn't. But
yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, they may have just been more afraid of Mabel than anything. Um,
well, understandable. Honestly, Mabel's not somebody to, I get the impression Mabel's not somebody to cross or get on her shit list, but Nate, she's definitely on Nate's shit list right now.
yeah, that. is for certain. So, Inea. Oops, where have I been? I lost my page. There we go. It has been a few days now. Christmas has come and gone. You spent it with your cabal in your sanctum, each of you feeling more comfortable together. The news has reported of the domestic terrorist Ned Calhoun. His attacks on the disenfranchised of Seattle have been revealed. His attempt to cover his tracks and fake his death by bombing his own bar have failed. Many of the Home Guard Solution members have been arrested. To the shock of the media, some of the police forces have been caught in a protection conspiracy and are now suspended without pay. An IA review is pending. Anonymous sources have been feeding the media and the public. It seems Techie Pesci has the elite skills he bragged about.
Yay, Techie Pesci.
The one ally nobody wants.
Yeah.
And the one
Yeah.
enemy somebody definitely doesn't want.
You really don't want.
You haven't heard from Agent Watts. Not that you expected to. The New World Order rarely lets any information they haven't approved of slip out. And your hands have finally stopped bleeding. Though
Hey.
you feel the need to often check, just to make sure. At times, you swear you see blood left behind on something you've touched, only to find it clear of any sanguine stain. Jezebel and Jennifer have returned to the Unity commune. Jezzy has promised to call you if she needs anything. And you are invited to the New Year's celebration that they throw every year. It promises to be a banger. Literally. Charlie has arranged to meet with Mark in Bellevue to help his family friend Joel Stalker. And you have dropped off Animus and Carl in Seattle. Carl taking up an apprenticeship in Animus's Seattle Spirit Science puppet show. And for the first time in a very long time, you are alone in your home, the sanctum gifted to you by your friend and mentor, Maria. Free of the others, what is Nay doing?
Probably sleeping a lot to start with.
I mean, that's certainly the first thing.
Yes, yes. Also catching up on the blogs that she has been able to only partially write at best. And her posting schedule has just been completely borked. So she's done her best to try and get those caught up and maybe schedule a few out ahead of time to go up later. um Also maybe a vlog, explaining that life got very life shaped for a while there, and she wasn't able to do much um, video wise. So, it's going to take a little bit of time to get back up to speed. But I haven't gone anywhere, and I will be back as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, you've been an active vlogger for, well, almost 10 years at this point. Well, no, yeah, since you were around about 16, maybe a little earlier. So, yeah, it's, in only half of that time have you been awakened. So,
Right.
lots of lots of stuff going on there.
Yep.
Anything else that you're looking into or wanting to do?
Well, okay, so I think I told you some. I made the mistake again of not making notes, but Nay will want to just spend some time with Moro. She needs to do some personal meditation as well, to assimilate and process all the crap that they've been through.
Yeah.
Um, I Oops, my character sheet's not cooperating with me. There we go. Need to do something about reducing my paradox too, if possible. And reinvigorating my quintessence. So Nay has probably paid a visit or three to uh, the liquid haze.
Hmm. You have some access to some nodes. I think it would be prudent that over time, over the past couple days, and traveling to and from Seattle at some point, um, yeah, you could definitely increase your quintessence stores. I think in general, I have you. I don't have your character sheet up either. Um, yeah, in general, I have you floating around six. Which is probably where you're most comfortable sitting around. That's usually like after a few days, and that's your personal stores, and that's just derived from your three in Avatar and three in Prime. I just kind of say that's where most people would be comfortable with their quintessence.
Okay.
As for the paradox, that's just gonna take time and maybe bad luck.
Okay, well, let's
Yeah,
not do the bad luck thing. Let's just go with time. They can be
time can happen.
patient if she has to be.
Mhm. Indeed.
um, yeah, I think personal meditation, um, inspired by Jezzy, maybe a little yoga.
Yeah, you
Very, very
definitely
beginner stuff.
got pulled into her morning routine as she stayed for a few days. So
Uh-huh. Um, and let me think. Probably a trip to restock her refrigerator.
yeah, getting some of the perishables that may not be
That didn't survive her
didn't survive
absence.
the absence. Yeah, um, getting those replaced, not a big deal. Pretty easy. Fred
Mhm.
Meyer's not too far down the road, um, or something along those lines. Winco. Uh,
Close enough, whatever,
yeah,
something like
something.
that. Anyway, local grocery. Anyway, she's a little particular, but not not too much. Whole Foods is the devil.
Yes, I don't
um,
fully disagree.
given their corporate associations, yeah, she wouldn't patronize them.
And no need. You're like I said, plenty of other options exist. So
Yeah.
you go ahead and you get yourself restocked and kind of you have a home again.
Yes. I think she's probably trying to get back into her routines, sort of as a comfort,
Mm-hmm.
the comfort of her normal routine. Um, even as the small changes to it, the yoga, and the awareness
Mm-hmm.
of what's been going on, it kind of percolates in the back of her head. Uh, ooh, I had a thought and it escaped. Darn it. Um, Maintenance of her spiritual connections, going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
She has not had a lot of time to leave offerings at her little
Mm,
personal altar. So will have done that, meditated in front of it for some time.
mhm,
Um, and research. Research. She has some things she wants to look into. Obviously, she will have done her reading up on what Techipeshi threw out into the world.
mhm.
Um, she's going to start looking for connections beyond connections leading away from the home guard.
Spidering
Wanting,
out, following the money.
yes, yes, following the money, following the contacts. Um, there's that real estate company that was associated with them. Um, what have they been into? What are they doing now that shit has hit the fan? And she's also watching those things. When she finds a connection, okay, what have they been doing? Are they scrambling to CYA or are they pretending like it's business as usual?
Right.
What's behind those things? Um, because she's not sure that Ned wasn't just a convenient pawn. Um, Big Owlman is not an entity one necessarily comes into contact with accidentally.
Mhm,
Oftentimes, one has gone looking for it or brought him in.
mhm.
So, the question is, did Ned have the wherewithal to do that, considering his frothing fanaticism?
There is a character I would love to introduce you to. Their
Oh,
name is Milburn someday.
oh boy.
They're almost they're more conspiracy minded than Inea, but damn, not much further. Um,
Nay is, yeah, Nay is a lot of suspicious about pretty much everything. She's not had a lot of reason to be very trusting.
but you do your research and you find a little inroads here and there. You're making progress. Um, your previous research has definitely given you the right direction to go, and you sense that given time, somebody's going to slip up.
Yeah,
They always do.
yeah. I think also halfway as in an effort to kind of like collate everything she knows up to this point, but also maybe a little bit of a tossing out of bait just to see what bites. She will, under the guise of just, collecting all the information in one place, write a blog about the startling revelations around this home guard group of fascists who popped up out of nowhere and um, got themselves into a whole lot of trouble and made a lot of noise in downtown Seattle recently. Um, just to see if anything, what if anything, bites. And she's going to particularly watch the commentary and movement around that post. But it will have been sort of sandwiched in between other blog posts on other topics.
Mm-hmm.
And as she gains more information that she can corroborate and back up with other sources and things like that, she will write update blogs about it.
Fair enough. And you get your home back in order. You get your altar back. You get all the little trinkets and the things that you set up and the spirits that you know honor. Um, that even includes the 65-inch TV. Nobody wants that fritzing out on them.
No, no, no. For God's sake, I'm sorry I neglected you so long.
But when you feel comfortable, you maybe a day or two of this newfound isolation, you take the time to really center yourself and you find yourself easily slipping into that meditative state. You're surrounded by the trinkets and symbols of who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. And how do you go about this meditation?
Okay, so a little sage incense lit on the altar. Um,
Classic, as Maria showed you.
mhm. And an offering of a little pile of cornmeal and tobacco additionally. Um,
As
and
you
then
learned when you were out in North Dakota.
and sort of tentatively a couple of 9-volt batteries.
Because you never know when glitch can show up.
Ever. It does what it wants to do, and the giggle is the only warning.
Yes. All right. So you've got
And
yourself. Go ahead.
then she settles in on her newly acquired yoga mat to just quietly slip into communion with whatever spirits are interested in talking.
Indeed. The moment lingers, and you close your eyes so that your mind's eye can see more clearly. And at first, you feel the cool wind against your cheek, and then the light shining through your closed eyes. You open your inner vision, and you are bathed in the light of the full moon. The lunar light sitting on the edge of this giant rock. In silhouette, magnificent and powerful against the moon, stands Morrow, the mother wolf.
As you have called to me, I have called to you, and we stand together.
I greet you, Moro, and I thank you for answering my call.
We have not had much chance to interact or speak lately. But now you can walk with me.
It would be my very great honor and pleasure. I have missed you.
This giant of a wolf leaps down from the rock next to you, gently landing, not even disrupting any of the grass around you. You hear her speak to you.
Quiet your mind so you can hear what Gaia whispers in the wind.
From the rock, Morrow begins walking onto the plains.
I follow, staying at her shoulder and doing my best to give my attention to my surroundings and the voices on the wind.
The grass glows with the moonlight, and it is like walking on light itself. You know these plains and these rolling hills. You know the people of this land. You know its spirits. And you know its threats. The stinging scent of fire. The fog of violence against wisdom shrouds your vision. You see yourself as you were at Standing Rock. Protesters yelling as security forces pepper spray a group of activists. Their dogs bark and growl, jumping against their leashes. One of the dogs slips loose and runs at the fallen protester. It's as you remember, isn't it? What do you do, Inea?
I have to run and get between the dog and the protester. I try to knock the dog away without doing it any serious harm.
Okay. You run forward. Clearly in the moment, the moon gone, the day, star, sun in the sky. You are standing there and you push this leaping canine back. It lands, turns, and raises its hackles at you.
I'm going to stand firm, facing the dog, but with my hands open and loose at my sides.
Mm-hmm.
And just talk very calmly to it. Easy now, easy. Nobody's trying to hurt you, and nobody's trying to hurt your person. Easy.
After a moment, the dog looks back and looks to you, then looks back and isn't quite sure of what it's supposed to do, and it runs back to the security forces. It isn't before long that another dose of pepper spray hits the crowd. This time, it's in your eyes and it's in your throat. You stumble across the field. You're bumping against who knows who. And then you trip and fall. And you keep falling. Then you fall onto your bed. You're in your room. But not your room. It's actually Jan and Paul's spare room. They say that they're trying to help, but you know that they're just collecting from the foster funds. You share this room with two other girls. You've since forgotten their names, but then it comes flooding back to your mind. Nancy and Yolanda. Sisters who lost their parents in a fire last year. At least they had parents who wanted them. You're even younger now than before. You're 12, going on 13. Downstairs, you hear Jan yelling at Paul. Again. Seems the school is not very appreciative of something that you did. What was it?
I probably intervened when somebody was picking on someone else. It happened a lot. This one probably got a little handsy. That happened not infrequently too. So Chances are good they called Jan into the office and she had to bring me home for the day.
Yeah. You can hear downstairs that one of your room sisters, Nancy, is in the kitchen with the foster parents, and she's actually arguing on your behalf. And you hear the back and forth until you hear the somebody has slapped Nancy. She has stopped talking.
I'm going to go downstairs.
You leave the room in a dash and you rush into the kitchen. And standing over Nancy is Jan, Paul trying to pull her back. You stand there defiantly. The pocket knife that you keep is opened and ready. What happened that night?
I got between Jan and Nancy. And I sassed Jan. You're mad at me. If you want to hit somebody, you hit me.
Oh, don't you wish? Don't I wish I could? But no, then they'd take you away.
You know what? I'm okay with that. But you're the one that wants the money that they send me. Well, send you for me, that you don't use for me.
Oh no, we buy the books. We get you those posters. That damn guitar that you wanted. We got you that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Am I going to get to take that stuff with me when they do move me again?
I don't know, it all depends. What are you doing with that knife?
I'm wondering what you're going to do about hitting people. Because you're only going to hit me once.
If you drop that knife, it'd probably be more than once.
You're only going to hit me once. Nancy, get up.
She stands.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Are we done?
For now. See you in the morning, Nea.
Yeah. Right. Come on, Nancy, let's go.
She leads the way upstairs. The couple that has justified their humanitarianism stare at you as you follow Nancy upstairs. It isn't until you get into the room and close the door behind you, checking to make sure it's locked, that you close the pocket knife. You have a bag on the bed. You've been contemplating scenarios like this in your head. You are not a stupid child. And these parents have not barred the windows. Not yet. Nancy sits on the bed watching you. What do you do?
You didn't have to do that, you know.
What? Try to help? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe it didn't help.
but you tried, and that's what counts. Thank you. But I'm
I
not going to
mean,
stick around to see these people in the morning.
I mean, we've had it pretty easy. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do without you around here.
You don't have to stay either.
I gotta look after Yo.
Well,
Yeah,
she doesn't have to stay either. None of us do.
yeah,
Not when they're hitting people.
she's only 7. I mean, we're not gonna be able to go out there. I don't think we'd make it. And here, I mean, we get food and we get school, get some friends maybe.
Yeah, well, they might treat you better if I'm not around, too. I kind of pissed them off just by breathing.
I'm not gonna lie, that they do seem not to really like you very much. You're weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of used to this. Not my first rodeo. So maybe it's better when I get out. I'm going to go back to throwing shit in the bag, and just for spite, the guitar joins my bag on the bed.
I mean, you never did learn to play it, honestly.
Yeah, but I can sell it.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I wonder what Paul would think of that. What a dick. Ah,
Yeah.
she rubs her cheek a little bit.
You sure you're okay?
I miss my mom.
Yeah.
She's not like Jan. And I don't think anybody could be like Jan.
You might be surprised. There's a lot more people out there like Jan than there are people like it sounds like your mom was.
I think that no, that's I'd rather if that's true, then I'd rather stay here and deal with the Jan I know than the Jan I don't.
Well, yeah, she's not the worst. At least so far, anyway, and that's all we got to work with. So you take care of Yo and, yourself. And don't forget, when they check in on you, you can always kind of get the social worker off by themselves and tell them if it gets bad.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah. I'll I don't know if you we're gonna miss you if you leave.
You want me to stay even though I piss them off so much?
I mean, I'd like to think that the time we've had here is not just temporary, that maybe yeah, yeah. Well, never mind. Not
No,
that important.
no, I think it is. Or you wouldn't have tried to say it. And you know what? You two have been kind of the best sibs I've had in a long time. It is going to suck not being around. Maybe.
Yeah, well, with the other kids in this house, of course, they're all a bunch of degenerates too, just like you.
Nah, I'm too weird for that. Ain't nobody like me.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You've been interesting. I do admit, though. I mean, if you do leave, I'm not gonna miss your terrible music.
How pissed do you think they are that I kicked that asshole's ass?
I think they're more upset that you know they had to deal with anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think they care really what any of us do, as long as we don't interfere with them and their life.
Yeah, well, that's not always our call, is it? I didn't ask the school to call him today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were the one that walked away. That's the good part. And you kept your knife in your pocket, which is probably why you're not in jail.
Well, yeah, there's places to use that, like with Jan. And just because you use it doesn't mean you've actually touched anybody with it. Okay, look,
Yeah.
I don't. I'll stick around for a little while longer. But if Jan keeps raising hands to any of us, I'm not sticking around. Like I said, she's going to hit me just once. She doesn't get to hit you anymore. She's got her one. And if she hits Yo, I make no promises.
And you, at that moment, make the decision that you are going to stay or leave.
I don't feel right leaving these girls with that bitch and the dickhead that she married, so I'll stay. But I'm going to keep talking to them about not staying.
And that is the choice you wish you had made.
Mm-hmm.
You did leave that night. You sold the guitar. You eventually were picked back up by the police and brought back into foster care. Another series of disappointing foster parents. And you never saw Nancy or Yolanda again. But in this moment, in this headspace, in the replaying of events, you stayed and you protected the pack. You did the right thing. And you now see that that is who you are. That is the acceptance of what you are and what you ultimately have become, even if that hasn't been who you are at every moment in your past. As the vision progresses and fades, the acceptance of this choice floods you with a weird sense of bliss and added wisdom. This gained insight is now going to be reflected in the form of a new dot of arete. What this means for the future, we shall see.
Ooh.
Congratulations. You made the right choice this time.
Yay!
If you had any spent willpower, you would have gotten all that back too, but
Yeah, well, it's been long enough that the willpower's back.
and I believe that is 24 points of experience to go from 3 to 4.
Cool.
I confirm that. But experience cost, arete, current rating times 8. So 3 times 8 is 24. Yep.
So that puts me down to 33.
That is correct. I'm going to type here in the...
Ah!
Sorry,
and
I
then
moved
my
the,
character, and
moved
then
the
my
window.
character sheet exploded.
There. It's a nice little reminder.
Yes, of what the heck did I do with my experience points? That's a good idea.
I completely forgot that is existed, and we should have been doing it this whole time.
Uh-huh. This is a good idea.
It is an amazing idea. I wish.
Yeah.
Oh well. It's also a good way of like giving yourself the pat on the back, being like, I spent all that experience.
Yes. But it was experience I earned. And it was hard earned.
Hard earned. Exactly. 24 points is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. Okay, I need like 2 minutes.
No worries.
I will be right back.
Take a quick break, come on back, and we'll continue.
Okay.
Well, now that we're back, let's continue here.
Yes.
Yeah, where were we? Yes. Oh, right. Inea has fought off a few demons as of late. The New Year's party on the commune was, as predicted, a banger. Jezebel danced with everyone. Mike was even there, and, though awkward, seemed to have a good time. The rift between the Night Hunters and Mabel is still fresh. It may take months or more to rebuild that trust. Jessie, for her part, has also seemed to embrace some newfound strength, and with your help and the Cabal, starts to build that resource or those resources for the library. Um, Go ahead and roll your arete.
My freshly increased arete.
Yeah.
No DP mod difficulty?
6.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Lovely. That's like 3 successes. It's amazing.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. We will make note of that.
Oh.
Well, this is a group thing.
Ah.
You're all working together now.
Oh, on the library thing. Yeah.
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 The
Digitizing
library or the node,
knowledge.
Yeah. On some early Wednesday, On some early Wednesday in January, the Theater of the Mind Advisory Board has summoned and met with you. Some of them. With how things ended, many of the board didn't really seem it to be necessary to hold even a small lowercase t tribunal. So, in this case, only Malcolm, Animus Vox, Sage Nova, and Fan Dot have come to question. I don't have a token for Fan Dot, but I got a token for the others. During this questioning, Malcolm and Animus, they seem generous and friendly, having known you. However, Sage Nova, they are a bit more intimidating. They seem to almost stare directly into your very soul with their questions. This one being Sage. I assume you may know that, but yeah.
I kind of guessed, yes.
You know the other two.
Exactly. I process of elimination. I got it.
But Sage leans forward. You're in a pretty comfortable room. It's actually just one of the rooms off from the Conjurer's cubbyhole. No need to be too fancy about things, but they question. So you were fighting these owls, and what was the purpose in killing them? There's so many different ways of handling nuisances.
We had literally just finished a fight with a digital spirit being, not really even sure what that was, but it had ripped through a movie screen in order to get to someone we were protecting. That said, we were all a lot tired, especially magically, and not prepared to face the owls, which honestly may be an oversight, but the last we had known, they were across the park in the middle of a demonstration. So I had no reason to believe that we would be facing them that evening. That said, they attacked us, and they did it deliberately while we were magically played out. So, to be completely honest, I think we ended up with about the best um, result that could possibly be expected. I'm upset that I ended up having to end lives. That was really not my purpose, and I still have nightmares about it. So there's that. But also, they were trying to kill me and my cabal mates. I ultimately can't see it as anything but a necessary evil. It's not one I would have chosen had I been given a choice, but they made their choices, and we responded accordingly.
Sage Nova closes their eyes for a moment and then open them. Look at you then glance back at Malcolm, turn their penetrating gaze towards you. There are times when a life must be ended. They are moving along the wheel and they have become stuck. You did them a service. You shouldn't have nightmares for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think my subconscious will probably disagree for a little while longer, but I defended myself and my packmates. I'm honestly not sorry that I was, successful in defending them.
The line of questioning moves away from the owls. And the one lone individual who is telecommuting in via monitor, um, the one known as Fandot. And you see that their name is actually spelled out as a series of slashes and symbols.
Oh man. Okay.
But it is pronounced Fandot. And she um, has a different line of questioning. She's investigating your experiences in the digital web.
Mm.
And she gets the overall sense that you were essentially abducted by the Technocratic Union.
Yep.
And she's like, so how did you escape?
Eh.
And this is a clear violation of any type of decorum that we have between them, but you're alive, so I guess it's all good. But still,
I am unfortunately a lack of understanding of the technology involved in that entire fiasco. So I I do not have a clear understanding of how it all worked, uh, how we got in and how we got out. We stumbled across a group of people who also had, I guess, similar technology, um, and who were able to reverse whatever process had put us there. And they were kind enough to do so. It had been a lot, and we were mm, kind of played out by that point. So I'm afraid I really didn't log a lot of information about them. It'd be kind of nice to be able to find them to thank them for rescuing us.
yeah,
I
okay. I mean, so that seems to mesh with the written testimony that we have from Teki Pesci and Penny. Um, uh, you were very fortunate to run across those two. I wonder what they were doing. They're probably up to no good knowing those two.
wouldn't doubt it in the slightest.
Go ahead and roll manipulation and subterfuge.
Woo. That's not good. Uh, no DP mod difficulty.
Difficulty 6, yes. No
Okay.
DP mod. Is that one
No
dice?
successes. That's one die.
What? What? No.
I
What?
don't know if that didn't go right or what. Let me see. What do I have?
You have
in
one
those?
manipulation and you have
no
no
subterfuge.
subterfuge. Okay, that actually tracks. Never mind.
That does track. Yep.
Okay.
I was fortunate to get one.
Yes. Okay.
I'll be completely honest. I personally, as a player, do not recall very much about the people that pulled us out. I know that I'm not supposed to be talking about them. That's about it.
I say nothing.
I mean, Nay would remember because she knows she's supposed to
Hmm.
report to them monthly, but I don't.
Fandot in their virtual avatar, because they're not showing their true face. They nod and they're like, okay, very well. Like I said, that does seem to match the report from known troublemakers. But no, we're all good. We're all a bunch of troublemakers, quite honestly.
I can't even argue that.
So,
yeah.
So I think things are good here. Do you guys have any other questions for Inea? Because I got a raid in like 20 minutes, and Malcolm's like, nope, I think we're good though. Sage, anything? Nope. Okay, cool. Animus? He's like, nope. I think I think Inea is a wonderful person. I think she's done really good things, and she's just an overall good, good egg. I like her.
Thank you, Animus.
And Malcolm's like, yes, thank you, Animus. All right, I think that concludes here. Inea, is there anything you wanted to add before we let you go?
No, I don't think so. As long as I've answered everybody's questions, I did the best I could.
And that's all that we're asking for. Thank you very much for your service and for your dedication to Seattle. We will definitely be in touch. This, thank you so much. Also, I don't know if anybody said it, but yeah, the owls were a problem, and I really personally want to thank you for that.
Um, I'm a little awkward about this, but you're welcome.
Okay, excellent.
They were a threat, and I did what I thought was right.
I agree. We'll be in touch. You have a great new year.
You too. Thank you, all of you.
Fandot logs off in a rush. Sage Nova, they stand up gracefully, and there is an air of, well, arrogance and just stark beauty in anything that they do. And it's frightening how alluring they are. You're like, oh, that's an important person that you just saw walk by. They don't seem to care about anybody else though. And Malcolm, like, before everybody leaves, he's like, and he lets Animus go. He's like, yeah, Animus, I'm watching you, so be no more of that funny business. I don't know what you're talking about. And he heads off, and Malcolm's like, okay, thank you again. This went really well. I'm sorry that things got a little hard for you.
You know, um, Hard, I'm used to. I learned a lot more than I was expecting to.
That's the way, the path. My master once, yeah, yeah, he put it all on the line for us, and he showed us how to do the same. And I'm hoping for you, it does come with pain. It does. We lay ourselves in front of danger to protect those that cannot. And oftentimes we get mixed up in all the politics, the bureaucracy, the ambitions of others. And I'm glad to see so far that hasn't been an issue with you.
Well, I'm hoping it won't ever be. I'm not very fond of politics and bureaucracy. They're done nothing but fail me my entire life. But I've had a few days to consider the last several months. And if I'm honest, I've had a few realizations, but this one got me by the short hairs.
Mm.
And that is that I'm used to it hurting. Doing what I think is right almost always hurts. What I don't know what to do with is when it doesn't hurt.
Hmm. I think that is when we must be truly concerned. I think I've been there before. No, yeah, I know. I've actually been there a lot. Sometimes you forget, and that's why it's important to have these checks and balances, to pass on knowledge and allow. I know this sounds trite and maybe even a little tropish, but yeah, it's good to have the younger generation kick our ass every once in a while and show us the error of our ways. That's what happened in the '90s. That's kind of what happened to me. I'm glad to see that, like I said, you and Charlie and Jezebel have survived this, despite everything that I asked of you.
Well, I appreciate that you've had our backs whenever possible. Um, and as far as I'm concerned, if I have anything to say about it, we'll go on surviving.
Glad to
Um,
hear it.
not about to. I mean, I just found them. I'm kind of not interested in losing them.
Me neither. Take care of them. You have a good day.
You too, Malcolm.
And he picks up his cane and he walks to the back room to go back to wherever it's safe for him. Because you could feel in his presence the sheer warping of reality around him. Paradox just wants to slap him.
Oh boy, does Nave have a recent memory about what that feels like. And she even held it off for as long as she could. It wasn't long.
You have a sense that it's dangerous for Malcolm to be anywhere outside of a sanctum or construct or a or rather a chantry. So after you depart, the winter in Seattle was cold, and many of the people are not as fortunate as Inea. And after the rush of awakened politics and emergencies, you and the Night Hunters have found a nice groove of research and assistance and personal time. You haven't let off on the gas. You're still on the streets, helping where hands are needed most. What has Inea been doing in these quieter months? I believe you are muted.
You are not wrong. She has gone back to her habit of delivering meals.
Mhm.
As much as possible in the cold months, she's delivering hot meals, um, which is a little more involved because they're difficult to keep warm while she's transporting them and stuff. So she's using those hot bags and doing the best she can with that. Also, hot drinks whenever possible. She will have been joining soup kitchens to serve out hopefully literal soup and whatever hot meals they can offer. Um, Also moving among her acquaintances in the homeless camps. Um, she will have touched base with Khan and the bridge trolls. Um, and let Khan know at least that she thinks they have resolved the owl attack situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that at least tentatively the population is safe from from that particular issue among the many that they face.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, there has been definite decrease in the attacks, and in fact, like nothing organized. Anything that has happened has been easily explained with just standard mundane, you know, people being assholes.
Yeah.
But nothing to the same level that the home guard solution was doing. It's roughly in this April time period, 2022. And last week, a strange luminal activity has appeared in the sky. It seems to be like the aurora borealis effect, but it's not behaving normally. First, it's far too south for it to be seen above Seattle. Second, it doesn't seem to follow the path of Earth's magnetic field. It's following some unknown pattern. This new mystery, you've been informed, is being looked into by the advisory board. And all of Seattle's cabals are a little bit on high alert. Charlie is kind of spooked.
Charlie and his aliens.
As you are working at one of the tent cities, you're passing out your care kits. You can see the strange formation of light above as the sun begins to set, and that's when Khan walks up to you, grabs you in his arms, lifting you a foot off the ground. Hey there, little sister.
My God. Hi. You startled me. How are
Oh, I'm
you?
sorry. No, no, it's all good. How are you doing?
Better now that things have settled down some, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, things have been great. Pat. I mean, it's getting warmer. I'm actually able to wear my shorts. Um, things are good.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. The man, those lights are getting. I thought they would have gone away by now. What the? Do you know what's going on with that?
I don't, but I know a lot of people are looking into it. I just haven't heard that anybody's got an answer yet.
That's usually how it goes. We're the last to find anything out.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm very far ahead of you on that particular chain. So how's everybody been doing?
Oh, they've been great. And as he says that, Cinder and Sabra walk up nearby, flanking him. Sabra kind of goes, he's like, I get a hug too, right?
Okay. Yeah, you can have a hug.
Oh. And Sabra gets his hugs, and um, Soot, Cinder's familiar crow, comes and lands on a wheelchair that rolls up, and Brain is with them. He's got his own chair now. Doesn't seem like the Parkinson's is getting better. In fact, it seems to be progressing. And the dogs are wandering around as well.
Hey, Brain, how you doing?
I mean, I'm doing all right. Chop keeps me busy with helping organize her books, so I got something to do.
Hey, that's good. Something to do is always better than not.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, Chop keeps all of us a little busy lately. She's been wanting some really weird shit. She's really curious about the lights in the sky, and Cinder is like, yeah, the man, wild.
Yeah, it's been bugging me too. I will let you guys know if I hear anything. If Chop comes up with something, would you let me know?
Cinder nods. She's like, well, I mean, she's always kind of been off in her own little world, which is par for the course or with us. But
Yeah.
she's really kind of diving into this, and she's been working with Carl. So the arguments that they have is kind of weird. I don't get half of it. I get Carl's side. I don't understand the things she says.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. As I recall, par for the course.
At that point, as you're discussing the events and the different organizations helping with the homeless, and you guys all kind of work together to do things. The sky, though the sun is descending and it is becoming nighttime, brightens, and there is a flash to the west.
Is that over the
The
sound?
There's no sound, but the flash is nearly blinding, and you can see falling from the sky streaks of light and a massive form shrouded in smoke and flame. You track it as it hurls towards the horizon and beyond your vision.
Was that headed for the water and the sound?
You don't think so. You think it's even further out.
So
And
out in the
then
ocean.
out near the ocean. And then a minute later, you hear the klaxons. Emergency sirens are crying out from almost all directions. You feel the earth begin to rumble and shake. The buildings around you sway.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so the klaxons will be tsunami warning, I assume. Um, which means we need to start moving people to high ground.
You are on the more inland side of Seattle. You're around um, more north of Capitol Hill. So you're on the opposite side of I-5, which is
Okay.
elevated higher than some of the rest of Seattle. Um, and the klaxon, you start trying to organize and move people, and the bridge trolls are also assisting. And then you look up and you hear a crack and more objects falling from the sky. This time closer. Some seem to be falling into the Puget Sound. And it isn't
Okay.
long before you see that wall of water crashing towards the city. There are explosions around you. It is pandemonium.
Okay, well, all I can do right now is just focus on the people around me and keeping them moving. Um, so that's what I have to be doing, especially Brain and anybody else who has mobility issues that I'm aware of. I need to be checking on them and making sure that they've got help to keep moving. Um, I'm doing my best to, keep the bridge trolls in line of sight best I can, um, while still keeping people moving. I am so not worried about anything else right at this moment. These people are my focus and getting them to somewhere safe. And I know there are designated tsunami safe
Mm.
areas. So when it won't be till we reach one of them. And then I'm going to keep checking to make sure that everybody that was with us is in the safe zone.
You pull anybody that you can. You push Brain to as close of a location as you can. You look around, and everybody is panicking except you and the bridge trolls and those that are listening to what they say.
Mhm.
And you can see each of them using their different abilities to um, convince others. They're using mental abilities. Spirits are helping. Um, Soot is acting as a lookout, and you can see that there is a coordinated effort with the three bridge trolls in front of you. They click and they work together like you and your cabal do sometimes.
Working on that.
The dog, well, yeah, absolutely, you guys have. Um, the three dogs even are involved, and even Chubby is pushing people.
I love
Um,
Chubby.
yes, but the wall of water, this near 300 feet tall, coming from the Puget Sound, large impact from above, doesn't take very long
No.
to crash against the city. And you see some buildings don't survive. You see the devastation of the flooding and the shaking of the earth. And you see people on roofs. And over the next several hours, no one knows where help is coming from. And that's where we're going to leave today.
Okay. I have to worry about Jesse out there on the island and Charlie out there on the peninsula.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah, possibly. Who knows
I
where they're
mean,
at? I don't know.
well, I mean that's
Not yet.
that's that's what the general
Hmm.
assumption is going to have to be because that's where they live. But that you're right. That don't mean that's where they were.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you weren't in Federal Way, so
Nope, I was not.
oopsies.
Yep.
Well, that was fantastic. That was fun. Thank you for joining me today.
Yes, thank you. I had fun. This is good.
Yeah. And I got you in a whole new crisis. I can't wait.
You absolutely do. And this is going to be like post apocalyptic Seattle mini.
Maybe. I mean, Seattle has rebuilt before, so
You're not wrong. Yep.
anyway,
I
that
want
was
to know what all the light and the shit falling out of the light was about.
well.
But this is the crisis that I have to be involved in with my cabal. So,
Yeah, those are mysteries that I'm not going to speak about.
oh, I just displeased the cat with that.
Better be careful.
Yes, he's got his claws embedded in my collar, so I am under threat.
All right. Well, thank you again. We'll be in
Mhm.
touch. I don't think we're going to be playing this Monday, possibly the next Monday,
Okay.
because I got my solo session with Billy on Monday, and we'll see how that
Oh,
goes.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Had to spread my 10 days to figure it all out.
I totally don't blame you. 10 individual sessions is a lot, capitals.
Yeah.
So
It's been great. Michelle canceled, but I still ended perfectly on time for later today if I was going to. So we'll reschedule.
Perfect.
No worries.
Okay.
But thank you for your time. We'll catch you next time, and we'll keep in touch.
All right. You got it. Talk to you
Peace.
later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.